In the beginning, do not buy any weapons. In RPGs, we usually like to get our characters as overpowered as possible, and at the same time, get strong weapons and items early on. In Fantasian, we can get a really strong weapon, the Knight's Sword for the main character Leo, and it'll hold you over for quite some time. There are some chests that are littered throughout the world you'll find, and you have to get specific keys in order to open them, depending on the chest type. As soon as you are transported to your first town, very early on in the game, you're greeted by one in the left corner, but you can't open it just yet. What you do need is an iron key, and you can get one fairly early on, right before a boss fight. As soon as you get to the point where you recruit Kina to your party and you head back into town, there is a woman that we can get a side quest from. Her son is missing and she's asking us to help her find him, which is extremely easy. He's right behind Kina's house. Somehow he snuck behind us, around us there. But you only need to talk to him and select the right message prompts. Select your mother is looking for you, then your mother is crying for you, and finally, how could you make her cry like that? After this, we can return back to the mother and collect our first iron key. From here, let's go back to the town square towards the left where we teleported to, and now we can open up that iron key chest. And voila, the Knight's Sword for Leo has been obtained, and it's better than anything that you'll be able to find over the next 2 to 3 hours. I mentioned this specifically because in the early game, iron keys are very scarce, and there are multiple chests of those in the town, but the items lying inside of them are not worth it to get early on. Don't be like me thinking the iron key chest in Leo's hideout was better than the first one in the outskirts of town. It's just a jewel. Fantasian is fully voiced and packed with Square Enix music, has a hard mode, and a lot of turn-based goodies to enjoy. But when you first boot up the game, there are a few things that I want to let you guys know so you can enjoy your time with it. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell to help raise that 38% even higher. And now, let's get some more tips for Fantasian. One of my favorite things not a whole lot of RPGs allow you to do is being able to walk around as another character and not just the main character, which in a game like Fantasian means a lot because you can do this as soon as you get anyone else to join the party. From the menu, you could swap Leo from the first spot with them and then walk around as that person. The footsteps, I feel like they're different, I swear. Is it just me or do they seem to move faster? Also, you can do this with Cheryl too as soon as you recruit her. Sometimes depending on what's happening in the game though, it will revert back to Leo in control, but not for too long as you can always swap them back in after story-specific cutscenes and moments end. Another tip relates to the combat. This game is all about aiming your moves and your trajectory in order to hit multiple enemies, and a lot of times it's extremely satisfying. With Leo, you specifically have straight line attacks early on, but with Kina and magic in general, you can curve those attacks to hit enemies out of sight. And if you pull the analog stick all the way up, you can slightly tweak the curve left or right after you have it fully extended and are holding it up. Same for downwards as well. Doing this will let you get that final angle you sometimes need to hit an enemy, which can sometimes feel impossible to land. In this game, it almost feels like a waste if you're just hitting one enemy with an attack, so I totally understand wanting to hit at least 2 or 3 with each attack to maximize your damage output. Also, in Dimension battles, there are these little buffs that will be popping up, like the yellow one is for attack boost, but the blue is to steal a turn. And I almost always recommend, if you can, to analyze the turn order at the bottom of the screen to see when an enemy is coming up next. Prioritize that blue turn steal to hit an enemy if you can, because you technically will be maxing out your damage output on the following turn, being able to hit them again or execute an enemy. You can tell who's about to die by checking out their name. If it's yellow, that means they are in a critical state. If it's red, that means they're usually 1 or 2 hits away from dying. But my biggest gripe with this game existed even when it was on the iOS devices. It happens when you play with a controller. The fixed camera angle changes whenever you walk into a new area or hallway. The analog stick unfortunately needs to be let go and reset to neutral, because you can't continue holding forward. The game doesn't register this, funny enough. It will inaccurately move your character thinking that you're still on a visual plane like from your first input. You'll know what I mean when you actually play the game and try it out for yourselves. It's something that I was hoping would be fixed in this release, but sadly was not. So you need to let go of the analog stick in order to fix and reset this. But of course you can get used to this. It's just weird that this is an issue when games from the 90s in the same exact style did not have this problem whatsoever. So go figure, I don't know why this is an issue in Fantasian. Also, another tip, when you come across a boss with limbs in this game that has individual targetable limbs, you almost always want to take those out as soon as possible. This can help prevent big attacks that they may have or even reduce their turns and overall drop their DPS output. When this game was originally released, there were no difficulty options and many people found the game pretty hard, which sometimes it very well can be, but some really do enjoy that challenge. Normal mode apparently was not the default in the original launch of the game, and instead, it was always what hard mode is now. So if you feel like the game is being pretty brutal on hard mode, keep that in mind and switch to normal. But be aware, this is obviously going to be a different experience from the iOS version, which by default was apparently always set to hard. I honestly had no idea about this and just found this out yesterday. So to start out, those are the best tips I can give you guys without spoiling way too much with the experience. There's not too many missable items in this game. They do a great job with fast traveling that you can unlock early on, and it allows you to backtrack easily from the menu, just in case if you miss something or if you need to go back. Same goes with the quests. If you have a main story quest or you have no idea where to go to next, if you took some time off and you're coming back to the game, in the main menu, selecting the quest will ask if you want to warp actually to your destination of where you need to go to continue that quest, which comes in super handy many times over. Other than that, enjoy the game. There's a lot to check out. If you come across Funi enemies, they drop jewels which can help you out a lot in fights later on. Almost every new area has them. Try to find these enemies and secure those if you can, but sometimes you might need them. But comment down below if you guys found these tips helpful, and also how are you enjoying your time so far with Fantasian. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you are new. More RPG videos on the way and you don't want to miss them. We're going to be playing Marvel Rivals later tonight. I'll be streaming that live, so I hope you guys come through and check that out as I'll be playing with the chat. My name is BltzZ, and thanks for watching.